Hello, my dear brothers and sisters. Hi, my dear friends. This is Bobby Quitain and welcome to Pathways of Hope. Today we want to reflect on the fifth chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. And allow me to read to you verse 13. It says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt lost its taste, how can it be made salty again? It has become useless. It can only be thrown away and people will trample on it." What is Jesus saying to us here? Well, first we have to understand what salt does. Salt. Salt, my dear brothers and sisters, is both a preservative and an enhancer. It preserves food and it enhances the taste of food. So in likening us, comparing us to salt, what is Jesus saying to all of us? For one, God expects us to be salt as preservative. We preserve the values of the kingdom of God in our society today. We all know that there are many things today, many ideas that people are advancing and proposing, which go against the values of the kingdom of God. Just look at the legislature. There are bills right now pending there which go against the values of the kingdom of God. And as preservatives, as men and women who would want to preserve the gospel values, we ought to make a stand against these things. Brothers and sisters, there are many things today which try to overturn the values that we have learned, not only as Catholics, not only as Christians, but as Filipinos. And God expects us to make a stand on these things. Secondly, God expects us to be enhancers. We ought to enhance the state of life of people in our society today. How? By helping the poor, ministering to the oppressed, taking care of the sick, especially in our pandemic today. We can be such great enhancers as Christians to help people, to alleviate people from poverty, to help people live better lives. As Christians, we ought to be enhancers. And you don't have to look far. You can just look at your housemate, your family member, your office mate, men and women who probably are going through difficult times. By being there for them, counseling them, comforting them, you are already becoming an enhancer in our society today. How do we do that? In concrete ways, how do we do that? Well, the same gospel passage today tells us that we ought to let our light shine. But we all know, my dear brothers and sisters, that there are days when our lights do not shine. Either because we're so down, we ourselves are going through difficult times. Well, I have good news for you. The good news is we are not the light. The real source of light is God Himself. He is the real light. And it is only when God is in us that we can truly shine. I have a company. It's a consultancy firm. We give retreats, we give recollections, we give motivational seminars to companies. And the name of the company is Lampstand Inspirations. The word lampstand there comes from this passage today because we believe that we are not the light. We are simply lampstands. We lift the light for others to experience the light of Christ in their lives. The same thing with you, brothers and sisters. You ought to be a lampstand. You ought to lift the light of Christ so that others may experience His love. My dear brothers and sisters, we are the salt of the earth and we are the light of the world because the Lord Himself, who preserves, enhances, and brightens our day, is in our lives. My dear brothers and sisters, may this gospel encourage us to remain salt of the earth and light of the world in a society that has gone sour, in a society that has gone dark. May we truly be the light and salt of this world. If you have been blessed by this reflection, I encourage you to share this with other people so that they too might be blessed. Have a great day.